me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
This episode of Greenlight Maine is brought to you by the Finance Authority of Maine. Fame works for me.
Good morning. Welcome to Greenlight Maine. I'm your host, Julene Gervais. This is very exciting because it's the start of season 5. We have 26 of the trendiest startups in Maine, and one of them will go home with $100,000 to invest in their business. The show is about public and private sector businesses working together to help grow Maine's economy. Maine is ranked first in business startup survival rate, according to the recent data by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. In a few minutes, our Sunday morning conversation will be with FAME, the Finance Authority of Maine, and our two companies facing off today are dooloop and Lockout Labs. But first, before we get to them, we would like to talk to today's judges. Welcome, Carlos Mello from FAME.
Thank you very much.
Tell us what you do there.
I'm the Chief Risk Officer of the Finance Authority of Maine, and it hides a number of things that I do. I work on the finance side. I also work on product development and helping bring solutions for the companies and people of Maine.
Perfect. We'll look forward to talking to you a little bit more about that later.
Great.
Next up, we have Renee Kelly. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Innovation and Economic Development at the University of Maine in Orono. We help connect businesses to the research and development resources at the university, and we also help faculty, staff, and students learn how to take their ideas and research and turn them into new products.
You guys do an outstanding job. And finally, for the first time on our show, from Aroostook County, we have LaNiece Sirois from the Central Aroostook Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. I'm the Executive Director of the Central Aroostook Chamber of Commerce located in Aroostook County. My husband and I also own Maine Simple Shop, which is Maine-made products, and I have a skincare line under my own name. It's a pleasure to be here.
A serial entrepreneur, I love it. Okay, we're going to talk to you in a couple minutes, but first it's time to welcome our first contestant of the day. We have Beth from dooloop. And you are an inspirational story because you got started in this just a couple months ago after staying home, raising kids and dogs.
Yes, this is like my first business foray in decades and so much fun.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you. Whenever you're ready, you can just look right at the judges. They're very nice people and just have fun.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks so much for having me. This is great. My new business is an innovation in the pet industry, which is a really crowded industry. Anyway, I call it a dooloop, and it's a leash accessory that carries bags of poop when you're out on your walk, and I really think everybody who walks their dog is going to want one. So basically, this is what it looks like, and to spare you a poop and reassure everybody that it's not gross, this is how it works. So you just slide it on, and it's done. And it does multiple bags at a time, and it slips off easily too. So when you're walking your dog, you don't have to juggle anything, which is really, really good. As somebody said, which I thought was hysterical, nobody likes to carry the weight and the warmth of a bag of poop in their hand or their pocket. I thought, well said. Anyway, this all came about when we were fostering a couple of basset hounds about 14 months ago, and Bella and Angie were darling, but their walking was zigzag, and they were a huge challenge. And I was juggling their leashes, and Bella would run away if I dropped them. So anyway, went to the store and online and looked. We have a dog park behind us to see what people did, and as it turns out, they juggle. And I'm a really bad juggler. So it really wasn't tenable. So I had some modeling plastic in my kitchen, and I sort of just started messing around. And basically my original prototypes that I finally sort of refined down looked something like this, and I put them on my leash, and it was just a game changer. And sort of in my process of doing this, I thought, really nobody likes carrying poop, and yet everybody is. So I called up some friends and family and said, I've made these things, do you want them? And some of them were like, sure, and some of them were like, I probably won't use it. But I sent it anyway, and their feedback came back that they all really, really liked it. And they said, you should sell these. So I thought, So anyway, couldn't make enough of them at home. So I went to industrial designer here in Portland, and he created what I think is this, he refined the design, I think knocked it out of the park, and we have been working with designers and manufacturers from Presque Isle down to Kennebunk to get it to where the product is now. And part of my mandate in doing this was I want to make it eco-friendly because we keep hearing about how much waste there is. And so these are biodegradable and recycled paper and zero waste packaging, and I'm hoping to keep it all made in Maine. So anyway, I'd love to hear any questions that you have.
Great job, fulfilling a need, innovative, and a great Sunday morning conversation starter.
Beth, can you tell us how you're going to distribute the product? How are you going to let people know what it is and how you're going to be able to get it?
Well, you know, I'm taking it to a trade show in August, and I'm hoping to get some of the word out there. And the Greenlight Maine, actually, that's part of why I was like, I'd really like to win this, to help with advertising and to get the word out, because it's doable to keep it in Maine, and it's been very community building because it would be a mass market item. But anyway, it requires a lot of hands-on.
Renee.
And do you have other ideas sort of in the back of your head for other products that might help you grow your business in the future?
Yes, I do. In designing the booth, it's so funny for the trade show. It's like all of a sudden I've got these very funny poop bags also, and then we have other leash ideas and things like this coming in. So, and the Hound Swag is a banner of which I'd like to roll other things that are also eco-friendly dog, made in Maine.
LaNiece.
I might have missed it. How much are you charging for your product?
They're going to be under $10. I figure the pricing hasn't been completely decided, but basically think of a cup of coffee and a muffin.
Okay.
And it's still profitable and made in Maine, you know? So
Very
doesn't have to,
affordable.
everything doesn't have to be done overseas.
Carlos.
So how are you thinking about shipping this? How are you going to, how are you going to get it to the consumer?
I have a Shopify site that I'm still getting fired up because, like I said, my learning curve is like this. I've done nothing. So anyway, I've have some people helping me with this. And also the trade show and wholesaling to both stores and hotels is another idea. In by the Sea wants them, you know, dog-friendly places. So,
Interesting. Renee.
yeah.
And how do you plan to get the word out about your Shopify store and the online services that you have?
I'm hoping at this trade show, I set myself up. I'm in the new product area, and I'm also in the Made in the US area. So I'm hoping that that's going to generate some buzz. Plus, I got the booth right next door to the press booth. So we're going to have a really fun booth and make sure that we get them in there and try and blast it out that way.
We got time for one last quick question, LaNiece.
Yeah, that's fine. When you first created this, did you notice that there's anything else sort of similar to what you're doing, or is this completely brand new that you know of? Because it's new to me.
And a fast response.
Yes, there are some other things, but this is the only thing that's a one hand. Everything else, there are things that carry poop bags, but it's like you have to hold them and then pull them through. This is, it's one-handed and it's easy, so it's really unique.
Great idea. You did a great job on your pitch, and I know you were going to do really, really well. We have so many resources on our websites for folks at home. If you know somebody that's trying to start a business, you can go to greenlightmaine.com and check it out. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're having a conversation with FAME, the Finance Authority of Maine, so don't go away.
FAME came along at a time when we really needed somebody to believe in our mission.
It's so nice to have somebody actually try to understand what we're doing.
They're right there, quick response, great team.
They made our life very easy.
I don't know if we'd be standing here as far ahead as we are in the market right now if we didn't have FAME.
FAME helps Maine businesses and lenders get to yes for their financing needs.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
Thank you, FAME.
The Finance Authority of Maine. FAME is a proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
At Sutherland Weston, it's not just about being persuasive, it's about being prepared. Too many agencies get excited about how to gain attention, but not what happens next. We know what happens next is really the important part. That's why we've had 15 years of continuous growth. As a responsive, problem-solving, creative partner, one who's not afraid of accountability, responsibility, or what happens next. Looking for a creative strategic partner? Let's talk.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our Sunday morning conversation is with our partner, Fame, and joining us is Carlos Mello. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And for our folks at home, can you just tell us what is Fame?
Great. So Finance Authority of Maine, Fame, is focused on helping companies and people in Maine succeed. And we do that with companies, providing them access to financial capital through our loan guarantee programs and tax credit programs we administer for the state. For students and for families, what we do is we help them finance and save for college or other degree certificate programs. So the combination of the two allows us to help people save and grow individually and companies move forward.
Perfect. And you have a lot of balls in the air right now. So if you want to talk about one.
Sure. So we're really excited about the strategic planning program that's going on for the state right now. Bruce Wagner, our CEO, is leading in that effort with individuals and organizations from across the state, both private, public, as well as foundations. And doing that in a way to help us organize and align. We could all sit here and say, these are the 5 things we should do. But if we don't put it together in a way that helps people get there and gets everyone on the same page, we're bound to fail. And Bruce is helping lead that charge for the benefit of the state at the governor's request, and we couldn't be prouder of him and what he's doing.
Bruce is doing an outstanding job. Okay, that's great. And that is due when?
That's due November 15th. And the purpose of that is so that it's be available for the legislature as they're thinking about new bills for the next session.
So they need it for January.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, so as far as what folks should do at home to get involved in the education piece for their kids.
Sure. So Fame supports education by doing a number of things. One of the things you have to do is make sure you take your FAFSA, the Federal Application for Free Student Aid. And that is the gateway for everyone to be able to take advantage of programs and financial benefits either from the federal government, state government, or from universities. Once you do that, what you need to do is have a plan. How do you save for school? And so what we do is we work with them in saving through the Next Gen College Savings Plan.
Perfect.
Education Savings Plan. In addition to that, we're able to help provide financing through the Maine Loan Program and working with state banks through the Maine Private Education Loan Network. And we do all other things to help them and guide them to attain their next goal.
And people can locate you on your website?
Absolutely. FameMaine.com.
Nice. Thank you so much for being here. It's so great to spend time with you. We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Lockout Labs, so don't go away.
Furniture for Greenlight Maine is provided by Thomas Mosier Furniture, handmade American furniture since 1972.
Reaching new customers online is hard. You've tried Facebook, Google Ads, email. You even built a website 10 years ago. You're way too busy to focus on digital marketing, and you're not getting results.
At Dream Local Digital, that's what we do. We've helped businesses nationwide grow with online marketing. We're the experts. Let us help you.
We're very proud of the product we make and the way that we make it. The most important features of our original dog vest are in its design. Traditional lenders, they steer away from unproven track records.
In you come. Hold up.
CEI gave us the opportunity to build a track record, show that our future path will be more solid than our past.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our second pitch is Lockout Labs. We have Brenden and Zach here. You guys were recently written up in Maine Biz as one of the 10 most startups to watch in the state of Maine. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Yeah, Linda got us in touch with them, and they interviewed us a little bit for that, so it's definitely getting the ball rolling for us to start reaching out and getting our company known.
Awesome. And speaking of known, we want to hear all about your pitch. So whenever you're ready, look right at the judges and have a blast.
We will. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brenden Paradis, and this is Zach Atherton, and we're Lockout Labs. So Zach and I are both electrical engineers, and we went to the University of Maine and studied electrical engineering technology. We started our company in October of 2007, and currently own 100% of the company and are completely debt-free.
Yeah, so I had noticed a pretty big gap in the power industry for a daily and critical task. So seeing that opening, we set out to start Lockout Labs and solve that problem through innovation and design.
So the power grid today is comprised of approximately 3,200 utilities, co-ops, and municipalities, which have 70,000 substations. So all of these substations have up to 200 of this very specific switch here. So an accident on one of these switches could cause a power outage for hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, so like Brenden mentioned, these switches right here are the standard switches that are found in these substations throughout the country, almost all of them, in fact. To date, the standard practice for isolating these, which as he said is a critical task to make sure they're not closed, has been for the worker to just open it and, as Brendan's showing right here, just wrap it with household electrical tape. So you see he's doing that. Our product instead simply slides in to the open switch and physically blocks it from being closed and prevents any incidental electrical contact. As you can see with the tape, you're still able to close the switch. So we also included in ours some additional features like being able to add a zip tie to the bottom to lock it in place, along with adding a tag so the worker can identify why it's isolated.
So we are currently patent pending. We filed our final papers in December of 2018. We sell both in small quantities and in bulk to cater to an individual worker wanting to buy a couple dozen or utility wanting to buy thousands to outfit their entire company. We currently have 3 major accounts in the Northeast, as well as many other smaller online sales.
So we're reaching out to see if there's any other markets as well that would use this control switch that we could tap into. This is the first product to market that is designed to isolate this very common switch in industry. So it's very exciting to show it to people who use this switch daily and have them say, oh, why didn't I think of that, and have it be so simple to use. With the money, we would like to move our manufacturing to Maine now that we have a process and a final product that's at market. We'd also like to move our prototyping to Maine as well. We would also like to use the money for marketing, reaching out to additional customers, going to trade shows, and some traditional marketing like that. So thank you very much for taking the time to hear our pitch.
Great job. We love having engineers on our show. We love first-in-class products. So take it away, Carlos.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Brenden, Zach, talk to me a little bit about what's the next trick that you're going to have. Is this a one and done, or do you have another story that you're going to be telling us?
As far as products?
Yeah, as far as products.
So we already have a number that we're developing. If we were to be able to do our own prototyping, one of the big difficulties is they have to be secure and ready to go. So we would like to get those products to market as soon as we can.
Renee.
It's great to see some University of Maine alumni growing businesses in Maine. Is there any difference between the colors of your switches? Is there some purpose for the different colors?
Good question.
Yeah, very good question.
So in the utility industry, we have different functions for each of these switches. So our color line allows the utility to assign their own color to each one of those functions at their will.
LaNiece.
So they only use those 3 colors typically?
No, we're actually able to, on request, work with our our manufacturer to work with them to get additional colors. So these were the 3 that we started with that we had noticed are very common for, caution, danger, stop, and then on request we can have any color made that they want.
Okay.
So talk to me a little bit about, you talked about distribution and getting into meeting with those customers. How do you get market share? How do you grow it? How do you make this that you're in every power station in the country?
Absolutely. So as far as the next steps we want to take, like I said, getting to trade shows, getting to booths where they're already displaying these switches and showing people that this can be done and that it is a thing, I think would be a very smooth way to market it, along with there are already standardized, media and marketing information for the transmission and power delivery world. So getting tied into those would be the next step. We've had a very high success rate. Once we get in front of the right person, they buy onto it and want to make it part of their routine.
Renee.
And where would you like to see yourselves in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think in 3 to 5 years, we'd love to have a company that we're both working at. Right now, this is kind of our side hustle. So I think we both love to be doing this full time and make more products.
Maybe I missed this. What's the material that you're using to make?
Yeah, so the material is ABS plastic. So it's your general all-purpose injection molded plastic that most products are made out of.
Yeah, we have been somewhat limited on that because it has to be, secure and dielectric. And
is this something that people could eventually use in their homes so you don't trip a breaker and lose power when you're?
We get that question a lot.
Somehow I thought you did.
Yeah. And that was actually a lot of people's first reaction is, oh, I've seen this. And unfortunately, but also fortunately, this is a very specific type of switch. So it can't be used in a home application, but can be used very standard throughout industry.
Great job, guys. We need to take a quick break. When we go back, we're going to have judges' deliberation, so don't go away.
Broadcast facilities are provided by Husson University's NESCOM, the New England School of Communications.
I believe in business today there are too many experts and not enough expertise. I think there are too many promises and not enough follow-through. Those things used to be the norm, but now they're the exception. At Sutherland Weston, we work hard every day to be that exception. We've had 15 years of continuous growth, and I'm proud of that. I think if your business is looking for a creative, responsive, problem-solving partner, if you're looking for the exception, I think we should talk.
We're honored to be Greenlight Maine CPA firm sponsor. Maine is home to a range of businesses, from startups that you might see on this program to closely held businesses and organizations that operate internationally. ARB's advisors are providing savvy solutions to complex issues for sophisticated and growing businesses of any size across Maine and throughout New England. And we're doing it the way you want Mainers to, guided by our local, sensible values.
Albin, Randall, and Bennett is a proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
My secret weapon in business is old-fashioned. I write personal handwritten note cards and send them in the mail with a stamp. I keep a stack of personalized note cards with envelopes already stamped right at my desk. As soon as I think of someone I should thank, I sit and write that thank you note. So few people do this anymore that people will remember you for having taken the time to express your gratitude.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. We're going to hear what our judges have to think of these companies. Let's kick it off with Beth from dooloop. There's nothing like talking about number 2 on Sunday morning. What do you think, Carlos?
It's a great idea. Is it enough to sustain a business? What do you all think?
I think she had a lot of enthusiasm, and it is definitely innovative. It's creative. It's something that many households need and can probably use.
And I liked that she was really also thinking about making it eco-friendly and made in the United States. I think people who spend a lot of money on their pets tend to care about those things as well, so it creates sort of a total image for her.
Even looking at manufacturers and working with design people in Maine already, and she just started, 6 months ago?
Yeah, it's been really quick.
But I do wonder, what's the next thing that she can sell that will be equally unique and different?
And how do you keep building on that? It's great product. I can walk dogs every morning, and I really would love to have it. But I can only have 1 or 2. I don't need a whole door full. So what's the next product? What are they going to do? How's she going to break out into? What is it all about?
Well, she definitely has the passion, and she definitely has the dogs and the examples, because those dogs were gorgeous. And if anybody can do it, she definitely can.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure.
Okay, let's talk about Lockout Labs. Those guys, engineers, they're very intelligent. They are also solving a problem.
Yeah. No, it's the same question. Great product, but again, it's a small universe of players, and then it's even smaller to distribute. How do you end up getting the next product afterwards, and what are the next things that they're going to do? So I have the same concern.
Yeah, it seems, once they've sold that product to that universe of customers, what's the next thing that they're going to do? I do think it sounds like maybe they have a little more opportunity for unique new products and services to keep
That's right.
that
They said
market
that
going.
the first product goes into the second, third, and fourth that they're already thinking about building. Yeah.
So there's definitely some more future planning there to ensure the sustainability of their company.
Distribution is going to be a lot simpler for them. And our other example was a mass market distribution. How do you get to all those folks that you need to? This is very narrow, very tight. Again, how do you make a business out of it? How do you make it sustainable beyond the first product?
The challenge with a narrow market is that once you sell to that market, right? Yeah. So.
And so we didn't talk about takeout and how they're going to be, but ultimately, as you look at it, is it a product or is it a business that they're building? And that'll be an interesting.
I agree.
I thought it was pretty clear that they wanted it to be a business eventually.
Yes,
Like
they
it's
do.
their side hustle, but yeah,
Absolutely.
they're young. And, okay.
Absolutely.
Any final comments? We've got 20 seconds.
Both wonderful products, great people, very passionate.
Great job. Okay, we have to take a short break. When we come back, find out who the winner is. We'll be right back.
Reaching new customers online is hard. You've tried Facebook, Google Ads, email. You even built a website 10 years ago. You're way too busy to focus on digital marketing, and you're not getting results.
At Dream Local Digital, that's what we do. We've helped businesses nationwide grow with online marketing. We're the experts. Let us help you.
Fame came along at a time when we really needed somebody to believe in our mission.
It's so nice to have somebody actually try to understand what we're doing.
They're right there, quick response, great team.
They made our life very easy.
I don't know if we'd be standing here as far ahead as we are in the market right now if we didn't have Fame.
Fame helps Maine businesses and lenders get to yes for their financing needs.
Thank you, Fame.
Thank you, Fame.
Thank you, Fame.
The Finance Authority of Maine. Fame is a proud sponsor of Greenlight Maine.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Both of these companies get an A in innovation, but unfortunately, only one can move on. Judges, who's it going to be? Congratulations to Brenden and Zach from Lockout Labs. They are moving on in the competition. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all of your comments, so please keep it up. You can check us out on social media and see all of our episodes on greenlightmaine.com. We'll see you right back here next week after Meet the Press on New Center Maine. Have a fantastic Sunday. Congratulations. Good job. Congratulations. Yeah.
This episode of Greenlight Maine is brought to you by the Finance Authority of Maine. Fame works for me. Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Greenlight Maine has been a paid-for presentation by the Portland Media Group.